Welcome to this video series on giving you some lessons from experience and stories from the trenches. My name is Fadi Jawdat Hindi. I'm the managing partner for the Consulting Lab, Inc. We're a boutique consulting firm based out of the Research Triangle Park that delivers service across the globe. And I've decided to do this series of videos because a lot of people want to know more about us. And I figured it's a good opportunity for us to share some of our experiences that we've had over the years. Maybe some of this could be beneficial or of value to people. And when I was thinking about doing this video, we definitely want to keep it short. We want to make them very long. And I also figured that we're going to give anecdotes and we'll share stories rather than an instructional video like we do with our academy. And give everybody the opportunity to get to know me and get to know some of the faculty and some of the partners better. So this is basically that. Take it at face value. So I guess my journey, this particular video I'm going to do is about my college years. I know that's kind of going way back over 30 years ago, over 35, 40 years back. But I think it's beneficial to start there, especially for those that are considering formal education. I went to North Carolina State University, very proud to be an alum of North Carolina State University. I'm currently teaching an AI course at North Carolina State University, and we're even expanding the offering to create a specialization in AI. These are some of the things that we're working on. But I joined in 1988 and 89 timeframe. And when I joined in computer engineering. And throughout the years, so when I joined in computer engineering, it was interesting. So the start of my story, I guess, from the get-go, it's been a bit of a struggle. And I'm proud of that. I think it makes me who I am today. But funny enough, when I applied, so my dream ever since childhood was to be a computer engineer, and I was very intent on being a computer engineer. I was coding, I think, when I was 9 years old. So, at the time, I read all the thick manuals. I mean, imagine a 9-year-old reading these big, thick DOS manuals and computer manuals, but I just loved it. I ate it up. I just had a knack for it, and I got it. It wasn't hard for me to understand it, and it just made me excited me quite a bit when I was younger to pursue the field of computer engineering. And then my brother and my uncle from my mom's side were really into electronics, so they were on the electrical engineering path. And I tried to pick up bits and pieces from them, but they were not computer engineering, like hardcore, like I wanted microprocessor design and things of that sort. So at any event, and unfortunately in my family, we did not have the culture of hands-on, do-it-yourself. What you'd expect normally around the house, but not very, let's say, competent or capable when it comes to do-it-yourself. Not very sophisticated, let's put it that way. I think that's a better way to describe it. So when I got to college, so the first challenge, right, straight out of the gate, was I did not get accepted. So I didn't get accepted at NC State. The actual batch, and it's a very competitive program. Believe me, it's competitive today, but it was competitive in 1986 and 1987. It was also very competitive. And so my heart was broken, but it was kind of somebody that just graduated from high school, and I was working at Subway at the time during the summers. It kind of made me, build that sense of fight and that sense of, well, I'm going to get it. Even if you think that I don't qualify or whatever, I'm going to show you that I deserve it. So, one of the administrators, God bless him at the time, recommended that I join the McKimmon Center, which is the continuing education branch of NC State. And I did. Go there part-time. You'd study the same classes that you would in engineering, especially the ones that as you get to matriculation. And then you'd be able to convert all of that to credit hours into the actual program that you're going to attend. So I did that for a while, and I did well. Mathematics, calculus and physics and chemistry and all the things that you do for general matriculation for engineering. And I was able to apply about a year into it, and then I got accepted into NC State. So that was amazing. But it's just good to know that there are challenges that you face all the time. And it's just about that spirit of rising to the challenge and saying, I don't accept it. I'm going to do something about it. And being able to change the course of things is, I think you're going to find as a common theme throughout my throughout my career. Um, Now, continuing on into like my first year, in college, you're going to end up doing, at least for engineering, you're going to end up doing a lot of matriculation, a lot of courses that are related to foundation, calculus one, two, and three. We took a lot of course, physics and chemistry and all of that. And then we also took a lot of circuits one and circuits two, which are more on the electrical engineering side, which are more about signal processing, more about transistors and waves, and more on the currents, AC and DC and everything, all circuits that are surrounding that. And then finally got to the classes that I was interested in the most, which were the digital classes. So digital circuits one and digital circuits two, where we got into AND gates and NAND gates and flip flops, and that stuff was awesome. That's really what I wanted to. That's what I was always excited about since I was a child to get into. But then, as going into it, we hit the second barrier in my career, which was, or in my professional career, which was, I found it very difficult because a lot of the um, a lot of the labs made assumptions about your ability to like your ability to be a hands-on person that knows how power supplies work and how breadboard works and how to do wiring. And unfortunately, at the time, I didn't. I was a very good programmer. Even at that age, I was a very good programmer. I coded in BASIC and C and C++ and assembler, but I wasn't good in circuits. I was very curious, very inquisitive, but I wasn't good with like hands-on work. And unfortunately, I started like flunking some of these some of these classes, and even to my dismay, before spring break one year, I think it was my sophomore. I was finishing my sophomore year before getting to my junior year. I get this letter from the dean's office that says, if you don't pull up your grades, we're going to kick you out of the School of Engineering. Talk about being heartbroken. I mean, that was just like I was floored. And it was a second, I guess, turning point in my career, because right at that moment, I said, all right, you know what, do or die. I'm either going to get this done or they're going to kick me out. So instead of going on spring break with my buddies, I ended up going to Radio Shack. For those of you that don't know Radio Shack, look it up. And got a bunch of components, breadboards, power supplies, and gates and ICs and timing chips, and you name it. I got everything that we've been covering in labs that I wasn't able to understand. And there was no internet back then for all you young ones. There was no app and there was no swipe. Everything you had to go to the library and actually pull up a source that's made out of paper, and you can go through it. And that was my life for the 2 weeks, basically researching in libraries. I think I set the house on fire a couple of times. So that was really exciting. And then finally, I got it. I understood it. And I think that this is the reason why today, whether it's in our academy or with our clients, I try to boil things down to the most basic understanding or foundational level. And I try to create analogies because people hate to feel stupid. And I felt stupid when I felt that when I was being threatened to be kicked out of the university. I knew that I wasn't stupid. I felt stupid, and it's not a good feeling. So, so I understood the fundamentals and then just scaffolded everything on top of it. And I was very proud of myself because by the end of spring break, I finished all the labs until the end of the year. And basically, I'd walk into the lab with the breadboard, with the project ready on it. I just power it up. The lab instructor will see it and say, pass, you're done. And then from that moment on, I kind of was able to really rocket through my college years, and joined several other programs. So I was worked on the walking machine project for 3 years, and that was it was a national competition to build a biped robot, which is basically a robot that has two legs and walks. And it was a great experience, because that even scaffolded, talking about scaffolding, that even created the next level of attainment, which is fusing the physical world with the digital world. So we worked on in the Mars Mission Research Lab on, I think I worked on 3 different robots. One that I built myself with some of my friends, Dr. Matthew Kay at George Washington, is a name that always comes up, of course, and a few other folks. And the idea was, how do you take actuators and motors and steel and metal, and you put sensors on it, and you get telemetry that actually feeds into a central motherboard that does the compute and then decide on what to do next. And we're talking about 1990 here, 1991. We're not talking about these days. So it was a feat of engineering back then for us, and it was, I think the interesting thing there was to reach that realization that if you can dream it, you can make it, kind of an idea, especially when you're able to bridge the digital world and the physical world. And that's what I enjoyed the most, embedded systems. So on that robot, some of the things that I was a team leader for electrical computer engineering, computer science, and Dr. K was the team leader for mechanical engineering. And the things that we worked on there, at least my team, was everything from the microprocessor up to all the peripherals that are attached to the microprocessor, and then all the actual wiring that goes to all the different motors and the sensors and the actuators. And the programming, let's say the assembler code and the machine code that is required for that motherboard, in order for us to abstract that out to the C language for the computer science majors to be able to take that and actually start writing the more advanced code around, course navigation, autonomous, it's not driving, but autonomous walking, I guess, in that sense. And we were able to actually place in the top 2 years in a row, against MIT and several other universities. So it was something that I was very proud of, and really set me on a path of overcoming challenges, and basically deciding whether you're going to just accept it, or you're going to say, no, I'm going to fight, and I'm going to get what I deserve, and I'm going to make it work. So there's been several blips, I guess, along my college years alone, and that would probably be, for me, the biggest lesson that I took away with my career. The other thing that was quite fascinating at the time is that we were doing AI back in 89, 88, 89, if you can believe that. And in the course that I deliver for NC State, we deliver a course in collaboration called AI Prompt Engineering. And we have, as I said, we have other courses that are coming. We talk about foundation. We talk about that AI actually was founded in 1950, or the grandfather of AI that created the whole discipline was Alan Turing. And if you haven't seen the movie The Imitation Game, I strongly recommend it. It's a great movie to show you how a great mind was able to envision and bring to life a machine that can actually work on breaking the cipher. And all the trials and tribulations he's gone. It's just a great story that I highly recommend that you watch as well. And at the time, the AI that we were doing was so rudimentary. It was neural networks. We were working on pattern recognition and neural networks, of course, and computer vision, but in a very, very rudimentary fashion, because we didn't have the explosion of data and information that we currently have today. And AI has come, over the past 35 years, as I've progressed in my career, AI has come a long way. And we have this, exponential explosion of generative AI. But what always I tell people that are worried, relax. This has been around for a long time. It's definitely going to change things, and the pace of change is very rapid and very fast and exponential in nature. but this has been developing for a very, very long time. It's the amazing discovery, the amazing overnight discovery, as a friend of mine used to say, that just took 80 years for it to happen. So definitely excited about the potential and what we're going to see moving forward with our advisory and our academy work, and seeing some of the great things that our clients are working on. But I'd like to conclude this video by just kind of, now that I've shared the story with you, next videos I'll talk about, in other videos I'll talk about my work experience, some of the things that I've learned as a consultant or as a C-suite executive or as a founder. But the biggest lesson learned here is that I think education is very important. There are different schools of thought, and I'm not here to judge either way, whichever way you like to, you're approaching it, whether you want formal education or not formal education. Regardless, I think education is very important, and making sure that you're constantly educated and you're always on a continuous improvement, personal continuous improvement journey is going to serve you very, very well. One of the things that I've prided myself on over the years, I've never stopped learning. And I've set aside my ego many years ago, and I realized that it's always about outcome and it's about impact. It's not about me, right? And it's about helping and serving the people that work for you and the people that depend on you. But from the continuous learning perspective, I've been fortunate to be able to go to Harvard, study the entrepreneurship program. I've had the privilege of going to Stanford and study on the machine learning and AI part. Wharton, most lately for digital marketing, and now back at teaching at NC State and Schema, and soon at UNC Chapel Hill. Very proud of all these universities and this ecosystem that I'm fortunate to be a part of. And the key takeaway from this experience about my college years would be education is important. Continuing education is very important. If you don't feed your mind new information, you're not going to be able to come up with new solutions. And your mind is an amazing tool with infinite potential, but it's only going to serve you if you feed it. And the way that you can feed it is by learning new things on a daily basis. You're never too old to learn. Should never retire. Should retire from a job, but you should never retire, I guess. And then there's a lot of amazing resources at our disposal. We have more resources at our disposal than we've ever had in eternity. So whether it's on the internet or Audible or courses through NC State or UNC or other reputable institutions as well, there's knowledge is there. It's just about you motivating yourself to actually apply yourself to learn this knowledge and be able to acquire new skills so that you can solve problems more creatively. So that part is very important, and I think you kind of picked up on the other lesson from my experience, which is most inevitably you're going to fail when you try things, and you're going to be faced with in your life you're going to be faced with a lot of challenges. So it's just one or two. You have to decide. It's one or two ways, and as it goes in from the movie, one of my favorite quotes from The Shawshank Redemption, it's like get busy living or get busy dying. So you just got to make that decision, and then you're going to find at your disposal a lot of tools and resources to help you with your journey. I would love to hear from you about your trials and tribulations. Any thoughts or comments about this video, please feel free to comment and let us know, and hope to see you in another video.